Good evening, ladies. My name is Bricia Mayombo. I am a mindset and lifestyle coach. I am going live on the Go Live 5 Challenge Day 2. Checking in. I am a lifestyle and mindset coach. I have for purpose to help you, especially those people who have been suffering from trauma, recover from past trauma, and help them to enter, okay, change the mind, doing that, changing one mind at a time. I help you to really mind shift. I'm the mind shift queen. I help you retry from past trauma so that you can be really seen and heard for who you really are. What do I really do with that? I have to share a little bit about my story in there. And I've probably heard that if it's the first time that you are watching me or you listen to me, I am called the mind shift queen. So a little bit, what do I do? What I do, what and how in the world it has started with the mind shift and it being a why not the trauma? Why do I focus on trauma, guys? A few years ago, many years ago, I was still a little child, okay? I was 11 years old. I've entered to the adult world through really one of the worst trauma that a child could never experience or you would never wish for your child at 11 years old to have. I was raped, okay? I was raped, and consequently of that, I become pregnant. I was just 11 years old. So it was a shock to my family. It was a shock to myself. It was just a period for many years. I went to high school. I was expecting. I didn't even know. Anytime I remember the days that I would pray at night and ask I woke up in the morning and then have just the belly disappear. I didn't even know. I barely had a little just sexy belly, but I didn't know what's going on. I just felt the thing was changing. It was devastating. My family was devastating. My mom was in trauma herself because she was in shock. I was a baby as a firstborn. The life that she had for me, the plan that she had for me just collapsed before us, collapsed before me. It was one of the hardest and like horrible stage of my life. And I had to live with it. And then being and expecting a child from that, it was even like the worst thing. So the first like almost 10 or 20 years of my life, I was going into, kind of physical coma. I was going to I had to go to counselor after counselor after counselor. I had personal counselor, I had private counselor, I had school's counselor. So it was always going on. Sometimes I'll be good, the next day I will miss school. I was just like a yo-yo mindset. It was horrible because even though I wasn't talking to anybody because no one knew exactly that school was going on, but they could see that I was expecting. They could look at me, but I was seeing myself ashamed. I was ashamed of myself. I was ashamed of my story. I didn't want to look at myself in the mirror. I didn't want to have any relationship. I had no friend, nothing at all, because I was just living in that guilt for many years. For many years, I was in trauma. For many years, that story has blocked me. And worse than that, I kept on going trauma after trauma. When I first moved here, I come here to study at early age, and my first Christmas here, I was crying. I was mourning my dad. My dad passed away. I was just like about to celebrate Christmas. So that was like another trauma after another trauma. I was like, oh God, knowing that you brought me here, it was a blessing and thing, but now I had to encounter that and I had to cry, and I couldn't even go back home because you know what I mean? Hey, you could just come from Africa. I'm original from Africa. The parents had saved the money and all that. And then I had to go back again. My grandfather decided after the meeting that I couldn't go. So it was hard for me not to be present at my father's funeral. It was hard for me not to be there and cry. I was crying a lot. So it was like another trauma. Any other trauma that I had to go through was when a few years ago, my child has grown up. When I was almost finishing school, my last semester, I was just about to go, graduate, and then my son, okay, just passed away. So it was just like this thing was like that, what we call la goutte d'eau qui a débordé le vase. Like it was just like enough, it's enough. I couldn't take anymore. I almost wanted to kill myself. I was like, my child is gone. There is no reason why I go, why you punishing me. So I collapsed, literally collapsed when I was just starting to go up, really trying to think. I just collapsed. It was just horrible. It was just like, I couldn't do anymore. I couldn't take it. It was too much. The pain was so strong. It was so strong. I was like, God, I heard that from stories. I heard that from stuff, but I didn't know it could happen to me. So that's story, that stage, that me being in that thing has caused me to realize that life is nothing. But apart from that, I have to find a strength within me. If it wasn't for God, I wouldn't be here. The reason why I do it, I become a mindset coach, because after the word, the God has healed me. He has helped me. I discovered through that healing, through that trauma, through that mental and inside transformation, I find my call. I find my purpose. I found the reason why I was here. That's why my company that I just started, just a baby step. Hey, it's coming up in Jesus' name. It's called Born for a Purpose, because the Lord has shown me through many revelations that, Bricia, the reason why you have undergo all you have undergo, I have a purpose for you. You were born and created for a purpose. There's a reason for that. So you know what? Step up, step on that story, and I want you to go ahead and share your story, which I wasn't happy to do. Just go ahead. The world needs you. The world needs that broken. You have to go there and be the voice for those who don't have any voice. You have to be there, represent, and tell that little girl who's they probably, if you're gonna be talking, not talking, how long are you gonna be talking? Are you not gonna be talking? There's a girl that needs you. There's a girl that needs your mental support. There is a girl every single day you wake up, you hear a story of rape, of abuse, or whatsoever. I need you to go and be an advocate. I need you to go there and share your story, because the world needs your story. The world needs that better version of yourself that you are right now. But in order for you to do that, there are steps. So he showed me the step that I had to do. And then as I was going to that, I started becoming a coach, or the coaching, because the amazing thing is, even though I was undergoing to that trauma thing, I had the courage. I've always had someone to, I always be happy to have someone. So anybody can be sitting at me, whether I'm in the bus or sitting in the cafeteria, and starting to share their story. I will forget about my own past. I mean, my own pain, and start, start, talking to them, talk like, sharing with them, and then just like constantly, oh, I'm divorced, I'm this, and I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, So I felt that, even though that I had that thing, I had that hurt of compassion. I've always loved to have people. I've always loved to listen. So that compassion hurt has always been natural to me. So even though I was undergoing, I was mourning, I was crying, I was miserable inside of me, I always carry my smile. My smile has saved so many people, because if I look at people and smiling, people have recovered smile. People have almost committed suicide because they met me. They feel my warmness. They feel my attitude, my positive attitude. Even though I was crying, even though it was strong, even though I always wanted to kill myself, because the pain was so strong. I told God, you know what, take me. You took my son. There is nothing that I can do in this. So there's no reason you brought me to this country. You gave me so many opportunities. I felt blessed. Yet you took everything away from me. There is no reason why I should be here. But the Lord told me, you know what, trust me. Trust me. Now you will change mine. I want you to go ahead and change people's mind. So that's how I started my company. That's how I started my program. That's how I started with everything, because of that. That calling was so profound. So anytime I post, whatever I post intentionally. I started living intentionally. I started doing every single thing intentionally, because I know not to do that. Regardless of what happened to my life, I was born for a purpose. That's what I want to teach the kids. I want to teach the little girl. I want to teach every single person that comes across me. Yes, you've gone into trauma. Yes, you're crossing this. It's just a little shadow. After the night, the dark, after the night, the sun will always rise. After the winter, there's always a spring. So you might be facing something right now, some storm, some terrible storm. I am telling you, I guarantee you, it shall pass. It's not going to last forever. It shall pass. So my purpose on this earth now, being an apologist at me, I embrace my story. I love who I am. I am me. I won't be me without my story. So there is no reason I'm going to be sitting and I know I have to excuse. There are no excuses. I sit down. I know, yes, I know where I'm coming from. I'm proud of me, because without my story, I won't be me. So there's no reason that I would be sitting here and then comparing my life, nor my story, nor a certain period of my time to anyone else, because I'm me. I was created to just perfect God image. I am beautiful. I am successful. Regardless of those stones, those stains that I have, the stain just make me. The stain make the beauty. The stain make the different. Because if we were all the same, I don't think the world would be the beautiful place that we are. So I'm gonna cut down and say that, ladies. Whatever you are, whatever you're facing right now, it shall come to pass. Just embrace your story. Be really you. You have to understand you are only you, and then the world needs that best version of yourself. So I'm going to check out. Bye now.